Welcome back. We are here for the Between Lilacs in the Dark, episode 14. We have quite a few masks and extra things to get through. So, whomever wants to start with their particular mask, just remember to narrate, to say the prompt and then narrate.
I'll go first. I have two that I'll do back to back
Okay.
because they are planned that way. The first one is narrate a flashback to when your village suffered an atrocity at the hands of the explorer. How did you help inflict this atrocity? Atrocity. I cannot say that word right now. Um, and again, this is told from the perspective of the girl. The land here is too rich to waste on people, Rosamond said to her group of businessmen and enforcers. They needed it for drills. She pointed downstream on her maps and said, "Move everyone here. There's nothing of value under there." A few men came a few days later. They weren't soldiers, but close enough. I helped them. I showed them which houses had cellars where people might hide. I told them which elders would be the least likely to move on their own. I told them where there was a shrine buried underneath the old well. They gave me a red ribbon to wear on my wrist so no one would know, or so that they would know that I was helpful. I watched as the houses collapsed. They pulled them down with hooked chains and horses. The roofs folded like paper. By dusk, we were marched downstream like cattle. They said we'd be compensated, that the homes would be rebuilt. Uh, they did not. They did not rebuild us. Board by board, window by window, we slowly got our homes back, but no one ever asked if we wanted them to. No one ever asked what we left behind. Excuse me. Uh, but the people started to push back one by one. And Rosamond asked me one day if she knew where the mutiny was starting. And I directed her towards the old man Peter. That's the end of that scene. And then we have my darkened threshold prompt. This is from Lady Ross Carter's perspective. It says, narrate a scene in which you inflict violence on someone and the authorities look the other way. They didn't leave, the idiots. They had no choice. I bought their lands. At dawn, I arrived with 5 men whom I had brought up from the coast. They didn't speak the language. They did not need to. That's why I chose them. They weren't here to be arbitrators. I called up Peter, the loudest of the townsmen, up to the front. He stood tall, I'll admit. Probably had a flicker of respect and admiration in my eye, but he called me a thief. Said I was stealing from the land, stealing from them. He said God would punish me, blah, blah, blah. So dramatic. I let him speak. I let them all speak. I gave them all the rope that they wanted. Then I gave a signal. A shovel to the back of Peter's knee, a boot to his teeth. It was a bloody spectacle. Not to kill him, mind you, just enough to ensure the lesson stuck. By the time the others realized what was happening, it was all over. They watched this poor man crawl through the mud out of the tent. I told them if they wanted to bargain, they would have to take it up with these men. The county constable showed up a few minutes later, of course, he hearing the ruckus. He glanced at the floor and he looked up at us and asked if anyone wanted to press charges. No one spoke. The next day, production resumed.
Who would like to go next?
I can go next. I have acquired blood for the child, so I am a brief, pleasant memory of the person you lost that is triggered by holding the part in your hands. It shouldn't be a pleasant memory, what with the taste of blood, memory of pain. But Elinor can feel Dell's hand pinching her nose and Dell's other hand on the back of her neck, and her voice saying, "But think of how mysterious you'll look if it heals crooked." And the warm sense of satisfaction of having helped, even if it had gotten her backhanded by a flailing limb when the contraction hit.
Did you also have a mask that you were going to do?
Uh, Cosmic Passage, which I don't believe requires any narration.
Okay, but can you just like read what the cosmic
Oh,
passage does for you?
it gives me +1 to sensitivity.
Okay, great, thank you. Larrabee, do you have one?
I do. I am narrating a Mask of the Past, which the prompt is narrate a flashback to your young adulthood that shows the incident that made you start to resent, even despise your parents. It's their house in Boston. Rose's father calls out from his office in their opulent townhouse. Mildred, come in now. We have things to discuss. Rose entered her father's office and closed the door behind her and sat down in a wooden chair before his desk. Now, Mildred, we've talked about this, and I'm no longer going to tolerate your insolence. We need to secure your fortune and the fortune of this family. You will marry Roger Westcott. There is no objection. Rose opened her mouth to say something, but her father slammed his hand on the desk. No, Mildred, you are marrying Roger. You do not have a say in this. This is what is going to happen. I'm setting the date to be, he flipped through a calendar, the 15th of October. Any questions? Rose silently shook her head, stood up, and walked out of the room.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I think that come dawn, I think we're going to see Mrs. Pemberton Potts' secretary, Laurel Walton, take a carriage over to what is it? The salon. And she greets someone at the door. Quite early for you, Doctor. And we hear a murmur. It's too low to understand the words, and it seems to be in a different language. Ah, yes. You seem to be getting ready. Well, just wanted to propose something for you, as we know what your business is here in London. And she will remove something from her reticule, and she will hand it to this person, whose face we do not see, but is under a tall beaver hat. The person seems to read it, fold it, put it into their long coat, and will reach out a hand to shake Miss Walton's hand. Excellent. We expect to see you soon, and expect to have fine work with you, Doctor. And we fade out of that scene. And that basically means that the Order of Azure Eyes is no longer in play. It is now a servant of Mastermind. So, you currently have the King in Shadows, but you also will be getting a new threat come this morning. So, let me go ahead and see about that means for the morning. As the new threat will be presented quite shortly this morning, I would like to know where everybody is.
I think Lady Ross Carter woke up early and decided to take the morning air, just strolling through the quiet neighborhood before everyone else gets moving.
I think Rose is sleeping in and is probably just planning to, at least for, I think she slept in and is going to have a leisurely, and is intending to have a leisurely breakfast at Hargrave House before she goes off to, perhaps do more investigations on this mysterious play that's going around.
Okay.
I think Dr. Whitford had wicked insomnia last night and was up very early and is reorganizing something in her lab. Not necessarily because it needs reorganizing, just because he's twitchy.
Got it. Okay. I have a question for Lady Ross Carter before I have a visitor to Hargrave House.
Yes.
Would you be Which way are you going down the neighborhood? Are you strolling past Mrs. Pemberton Potts's house, Wreath Hall, or are you going the other
Yeah.
direction?
Yeah. We'll walk past the Pemberton residence.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be quite fine residence. You see the decorative wreath on her door, um, uh, woven through with flowers and branches and all this kind of stuff. And
I
off to
kind of I
this,
kind of roll my eyes at how fancy it looks. Like, oh
Mhm.
God, she's insufferable.
Of course, and off to the side, you get the impression of a arbor archway. Like it seems to be like again like woven through with these branches and vines and such, and they seem to be leading into like perhaps her backyard, which probably leads to a garden, of course, because you know how much she loves flowers.
Well, I let myself in the gate and I start to walk through the gardens.
Oh, certainly. So, and I think as you near the back, like as you go through this side garden, I mean, like it's still kind of early, so it might be like just the dawn's light, like kind of dim and everything like that. I think maybe you start to hear sounds of effort,
Oh,
maybe grunts, but then also you'll start to hear like what sounds like the distinct shing of metal against metal.
are these grunts pleasurable sounding grunts? Are these
Effort.
okay. Well,
Not sexual effort, but
okay,
just
that's
like
yeah.
like
Okay.
more like possibly fighting effort. You know,
Yeah.
you know what your wrestlers sound like when they're
Sure.
when they're
Yes, yeah,
exerting
that's
themselves.
exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
Uh so I hear this and I do not want to be spotted directly off. And so I think I'm going to look for some higher hedges that I could hide behind while getting closer because I'd like to hear what these people are talking about
Oh, certainly.
before I reveal myself to them.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I think the camera will pan slowly as you pan, like,
Yeah.
go slowly behind these hedges to kind of get a better view, but also be not viewable, right? And we cut over to Hargrave House as we hear like a stentorous knock on the door, and then like the unfortunate ding 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 ding.
I think Elinor probably waits a moment for Jack to throw it open, remembers that Jack's not currently present, and goes to answer the door. She may wait a moment to see if Rose makes noises upstairs, and in the absence of that,
Do
go
you
ahead.
think you hear that?
I was going to say, I think at the sound of the ringing bell, I think Rose was up but hadn't completely. Yeah, I think she was awake, but she hadn't actually gotten out of bed yet.
Mhm.
So at the sound of the bell, it's like she realizes that, oh, I should probably hear what this person has to say, and quickly starts making herself, well, I won't say exactly presentable, but will quickly dress for the morning or early afternoon, whatever time of day it is.
Yeah. Let's just say it's getting to be like not so late morning, but kind of mid morning and such. But I
How
think
quickly is Rose's quickly?
She's probably gonna like, you know, put on her, she's gonna put on her blouse, pull up her breeches, put a, throw her poncho on, and grab her hat. So not too long, few minutes.
perhaps as you reach the door and you start to open it, it's like maybe Larrabee slides down the stairs, whatever. Um, and you see her like slide next to you. Um, just as you open the door fully and see who is there, Doctor. And then you see, looks like a medium sized man, solemn looking, actually very worried, and seems to have priest's robes, like dark priest robes, and then like I forget at his neck. Um, excuse me, is this Hargrave House?
Yes.
I am Father O'Donnell. I have I have something to share.
Please come in,
Well,
Father.
please come in.
Thank you, thank you. I am the Dean of St. Cecilia's Cathedral, and for the past month, my fellow clergy have been coming to me with reports of statues that move and the sensation of always being watched. Of course, I chalk it up to feeling the Holy Spirit, but I thought nothing of it until last Sunday. One of our deacons, Wesley Burke, was found hanging from the rafters, chest splayed open above the pulpit. I've paused normal services temporarily, as you can imagine, and the body is with the authorities, but they don't seem to be interested in pursuing the case much further than questioning parishioners. I... I've heard of your reputation as investigators for these strange type of events. Is there a possibility that you can help figure out what's going on at St. Cecilia's?
That
Well,
is what we're here for, Father.
yeah, we've certainly looked into a strange case or two over the years. Yeah, I think we might be able to fit you into our I think we might be able to fit you into our schedule. She uh she smiles mirthlessly at her own joke, which wasn't really much of a joke.
Anything that you can do to clear the church of this unholy blight would be more than appreciated.
Do
And
you have time to answer a few questions, Father?
I can try. Yes. Um, I'm gonna ask. Let's see. Hold on. Rose, Larrabee. In your travels, you know of stories that tell of different entities that can possess and animate stone. These creatures, no matter the source, are called gargoyles. However, something about Dean's story seems to suggest that this gargoyle has not taken the form of the traditional imp. It's something much worse. What form does this gargoyle take?
Well, knowing that gargoyles and grotesques are, regular features of cathedrals, some of which can take very fantastical shapes. Um, from what he's described, this thing almost sounds bestial. Um, I think this, and then she remembers that walking by this church, I think she's noticed that like at least one of the grotesques was in the form of a dragon. like below a window of like next to a stained glass window that was depicting Saint George slaying the dragon. This was the dragon. It's
Ooh.
It's a statue of a dragon.
Okay. Oh man. Amazing. Okay. So, you guys have a threshold question that you need to answer. What entity gave the gargoyle life? Demon, spirit, or man? Once you answer that, then we will unlock the next appropriate question. It's a complexity 2. Okay? So, while I'm trying to put all this stuff into the keeper, please try to decide amongst yourselves what you think you want to do this morning now that you have a new threat on the board, okay? So, talk meta level while I'm doing this.
I think Ross Carter is going to see where this garden tour will lead her, and she'll catch up with the two of you as new information comes to light.
So we just don't know where you are and you're not back.
I was gone before you woke up.
Okay.
Okay.
You're nowhere to be found. At some point, the three of us should confer about taking tea.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yes.
Miss McGrady, McGarity,
McGarity.
she let you know that I was
Right.
out on a walk. Yeah.
Oh, I believe we got a guilt-edged invitation to tea with Pemberton Potts last session.
It's true.
We did.
Yep.
That we should. I believe it is rude not to respond, and Elinor would not wish to be rude.
Agreed.
If Ross Carter was here, she would roll her eyes at the thought of
Yes.
possibly how sad it would be to be rude to Pemberton Potts.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Mike, does Rose want to do more King and Shadow stuff, or shall we both go to the Cathedral?
We've got 7 clues for complexity 2 question on King of Shadows. So if we're in the day phase, I would suggest let's do some let's do some investigation on the gargoyle from a game mechanics perspective. And then maybe when it comes around to the dusk phase, maybe we should try to answer a question for King and Shadows, because we've got way more. I mean, we could use figure out like 5 of those 7 clues and still roll it +3 on that. So that I think we might want to do that. If that's okay. So yeah, let's for the day phase, let's head over to St. Cecilia's and see what we can find.
Okay.
And I assume that Order of Azure Eyes ended because we'd run out some sort of clock, and we've also got a clock on the King in Shadows. Yeah, my brain's just going to.
Yes. Hold on.
Okay.
There is a clock on the King in Shadows, but I have to find where that is because I forgot to mark it into the doodad, into the keeper.
Not that will change our next steps. I'm just.
No, you're right. You're right. But I mean, like, I just want to make sure that.
I think there's a 4 o'clock on that one.
Yep, there's a 4 o'clock. Well, hold on, wait. No.
And I don't know how many. And I
4
don't
night
know
phases.
how many.
4 nights.
Yes.
And I don't know how many phases we've let that one go.
Just one.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna write this. Okay. Ah, son of a gun. All right, so.
You got plenty of time. What could go wrong?
Famous last words.
It's only the King in Yellow. I mean, King in Shadows.
Only? It's only good. Okay.
Fine.
I'm gonna write into this Saint Cecilia gargoyle thing, and if you guys want to wow around with it just to make it look nice, please do, because it doesn't. But anyway, let's see. It looks like a dragon, like the Saint George and the dragon. Stained glass. Okay. Just want to make sure that notation was in there for you guys. All right, so yeah, if you want to fix it, please do. And I put it in the threshold question. What entity gave the gargoyle life? Demon, spirit, or man? Complexity 2. And then that unlocks the next appropriate question, okay? Yeah, so King in Shadows. So Lady Ross Carter is going to continue her spying on Mrs. Pemberton Potts, and then you two are going to go investigate St. Cecilia's gargoyle. So, yes, you've got the church to discover. Yep. Oh, and this does have a mask. This threat, it has the Mask of Penance. I'll just tell you what it is. Each hunter narrates a flashback of a moment they begged someone for forgiveness, only to be denied. So, think about using that, or not. Not until later on. Alrighty. Sorry, just want to make sure I have this. Okay.
Oh, and since we're talking masks, was there a mask on King of Shadows?
Yeah, let me look.
Because it's just not on the threat list.
I don't recall there being one.
I don't think so, but there's like some
so?
special. There's some special stuff for this, so I mean, like it
Okay.
doesn't. You don't get one because it's got some special stuff.
That's cool. I was just curious if there was one.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Yeah, there's too much special stuff in here that like you don't get one.
Okay. There is no special mask.
No. So yeah, be very aware of that. Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see it. So many special rules. Yep. Which I absolutely adore because that's one of the reasons why I really love running this thread. Holy shit. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. There is a mask. Sorry, the Mask of Dissociation. Each hunter narrates a time they felt like a stranger in their own body. Plop.
And could you reread the Mask of Penance? I'll just pop it right into the.
Here, let me. Ah, come on. Try to copy. Ow, stop. Put it into the Zoom chat if it'll let me. There we go. That's Mask of Penance that I popped into the Zoom chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alrighty, cool. So, yeah, the first place to stop off would be St. Cecilia's. There might be a couple of places near it, or let's see. Yeah, a couple places near it or on the way. So, just have to discover them as you go. Did you want to question Father O'Donnell while he's here, or did you want to wait until you went back to the church?
I wanted to do some here where he was uninterruptible. He seems like he might be a busy man and other people may be around him at the church.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so what kind of questions do you want to ask?
So how many days ago did this take place?
This happened last week, I think I said.
Okay. You said last Sunday.
Last Sunday, yeah.
Body's probably too old. Or did the yard take the body?
The police took the body.
Okay. Yeah. Were you the one who found the body?
I was not. It was one of the other deacons that found poor Wesley.
And poor Wesley, you say he was a deacon, and
yes.
Do you know if he was up to anything? I don't know, odd.
Not that I know of. I mean, he's
heard
going
rumors.
About his duties. Going about his duties as normal.
So didn't have any odd dealings with other folk. Didn't have any, You weren't like worried that he was like taking money from the collection box, nothing like that.
I don't recall hearing anything of this. The only thing I'd heard, of course, was just hearing these strange rumors of the being watched and the reports of the statues that move.
And what led you to believe that Wesley's death was connected to the statues moving?
Because of where he was found. The rafters. Our cathedral is quite high. I can't imagine anyone, human, taking him up into, pulling him up into our rafters and just leaving his body up there. It dripped onto the pulpit.
Well, that seems rather unsightly.
It
I'm
was.
sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
Well, we would like to speak to the deacon who found him.
certainly.
We'd also like to take a look around where the body was found, see if there's anything there that might help us figure out what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Please. Um, uh, as long as you do not, of course, interrupt any.
Yeah, we won't be poking around on Sunday morning if that's what you're asking about.
I mean, I have paused services for right now, but there might be some parishioners who are lighting candles or needing a confessional or other things. So, again, please be respectful of their space.
We will endeavor not to disturb anyone. Please let us know if you are concerned about something specific.
I thank you. I thank you.
I think that Elinor will make very pointed eye contact with Rose. We will endeavor not to disturb anyone.
If you are in need of speaking with the deacon that found him, please, he might be a little skittish. You might want to have me introduce you first. Edgar Timble is rather,
It would be distressing to anyone to find such a thing to happen.
Thank you. So yes, please, seek me first, and then I can introduce you.
Out of character, what was the father's name again?
O'Donnell.
Okay.
He's a dean of St. Cecilia's, yep.
I, Kim, the player, know very little about church structure anymore.
Oh, I
so,
don't remember shit,
okay.
So no worries.
Like, if deacon means something specific, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay, cool.
Just
Oh,
an
so-
officer, just an officer of the church.
It's a laity off. It's a lay off. It's not a member of the. They're not member of the. In my understanding, in the Catholic Church, they're not members of the priesthood. They are elected lay leaders who do various
I don't.
administrative and ecclesiastical stuff.
Okay.
So
And the dean of the church he'd be the that means he's the head priest.
So yeah, I mean the simple description of Father O'Donnell is simply priestly attire, the smells of cigarette smoke, and very exhausted, sleepless eyes. So, yeah.
Excellent, thank you. I wasn't certain if deacon was a information bearing.
No, just a designation, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're like a local
Rose,
church. They're like a local laity leader of the particular church.
Oh,
Okay.
and just so you guys know, there is a special rule. Well, while this threat is active, each hunter can partake in confession with the father once. If they do, they may remove an appropriate condition.
Okay.
Clint, that's a fantastic face you just made.
That's
I
cool.
am going to confession.
I can't wait. Is there anything else relevant that you would like to tell us, Father, or shall we head to the chapel? I want to give you an opportunity to speak freely in case when at your place
You
of
can kind of,
worship you would feel
you know,
constrained.
You can
and
make an information roll.
I would like
I
to
was
make an
good.
information roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you would like to make one,
No,
Rose.
please, no, please go ahead and make it. I was just
Okay.
going to add for flavor, like, she shrugs her shoulders and said, "Think about that as like we're taking your confession."
He kind of just gives you the side eye.
Okay, let me look. 2d6 plus something? Just straight 2d6.
Well, okay, so if you're going to be talking to him, it would
Mhm.
be your reason. Because
It
you're
is.
asking like if there's anything that you might know, like whatever. If you're trying to influence him, then it would be more presence, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
literally just information.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Go for
come
it.
on, which dice? 1, 2, 3. 11.
Okay, it would be helpful if I was
Nice.
in the thing. Very nice. Okay. Great. So you're asking him to speak freely about anything that he might know, anything he might have heard. All right. Now, as you ask me this, I honestly don't know what to make of it. And I'm not sure if it means anything or if I was just imagining things because I am just that tired and worried. But 2 nights ago, when Edgar Timble was doing the barest of his duties and wandering the hallways, I had followed him just to make sure he was all right. And then he seemed to stop. And he turned and looked at nothing in particular. And then he started to speak in tongues. And that is the clue. A side character speaks in tongues. For whatever reason, I'm having trouble like trying to copy and paste this from this PDF. So if somebody wants to just put in Edgar Timble speaks in tongues, then
I got it.
please put that. Okay. So first clue for St. Cecilia's Gargoyle. Yep.
Thank you, Father.
Which is an unusual thing in the Catholic Church. Now if you were a Baptist,
Indeed, we are not. But yes, I found that very disturbing. So, but I appreciate any help that you and your colleagues can give.
well, this does seem to be an intriguing case. Um, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what we can dig up. I'm 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 intrigued. Dr. Whitford, are you intrigued by this? I know I sure am.
More importantly, I believe that it is our duty to render aid. So, yes. Shall we to the cathedral?
Um, well, sure, why not?
I know you've. So, is Father O'Donnell still here? Or. will we
I mean,
set him
like
free?
if you wanna jump forward, like, because if like Rose still has to get ready,
I
you
was
know,
about to
you're
say.
Yeah,
ready.
I was gonna say she. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
Rose would probably do a
he's
little.
long gone. Yeah, but if
Okay,
you wanna
Elinor will
jump,
say something cutting about, um, I believe you'll need a little more time to get ready.
Yeah, might want a little. And she'll also find our housekeeper and ask if she would put on a pot of coffee.
oh yeah, that's already been. But again, it's the usual shtick. What does Mrs. McGarity do? She starts to like show
Let me.
you the teapot until you. One of these days, Miss Larrabee. One of these days, and then she'll pop out the
He
coffee
just
pot.
doesn't. He just doesn't get you the get up and go that coffee does.
It would be
This
wasted on her, Miss McGarity.
we will refine your tastes at some point.
My tastes are just fine, thank you.
I've seen the swill that you drink. Doubtful. Anyway, I wonder where. Well, I wonder much longer Lady Roscarter's going to be. Breakfast is getting cold. And we transport over back to the garden, like as we go back in time and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so you're behind the hedge,
Yes.
and you are spying on Pemberton Potts. So
I think we can kind of like you were saying, the camera's behind her and she's like creeping really closely, and the voices are getting louder and louder.
Mhm. Would you like to do an information move?
Sure. With reason, perhaps.
Or composure if you
Composure
don't.
makes
You're,
more sense. Yes, yes,
if
yes.
you're stealthy.
Yeah. So we got 2d6 plus, what do I got here? 2. 1, 2. Got a 7.
Okay.
I
Let's see.
step on a twig and it snaps.
Yep. Well, that's definitely how your life gets complicated. It's like, and I think they stop talking. Although, let's see what you get first. Let's give you the clue
Yeah,
first.
for sure.
But what have I given you so far? That's always the fun part. It's like, oh my god.
Or
Okay.
maybe,
Mhm.
Mads, I feel like this would make sense if it's like I'm actually trying to get as close as possible.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I'm even in position to really investigate there.
Okay.
Like, because I mean, do you think I'd be able to recognize these people? Is that what I was trying to investigate?
I mean, that's up to you. I mean, like, do you think you're like trying to listen in
I'm
on
just
what's going on?
snooping on them right now, kind of like not really like trying to find information on any clues or anything. I've
Okay.
just like, snuck into their yard and I've heard some noises and I'm just being a little bit of a scuttlebutt over here,
Okay.
just kind of looking around. Uh, so I don't even know if I even need that role, honestly.
Okay. Alrighty.
Uh, but I do like the idea of me getting really close and I step on something that
Mm,
alerts them that I'm there or
right.
someone's there.
Yeah. I think you just trying to think of like
Do I recognize these people?
you will recognize like this is like later in the morning, I think. Actually, no, it's not. Let's say that I'm trying to remember if you did meet these guys or not. I'm trying to remember. You saw
I
the doctor. You saw Dr. Holzer. That's right.
that and we met a young lady wrestler, boxer,
Well, you met Laurel.
Laurel. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not there. It's
Okay.
like it's actually the carriage, the the person who has driven Mrs. Pemberton Potts' carriage, but you may or may not have noticed him.
Okay.
But he's one of her wards too. So this person, hold on, let me see if what my description has, because I always forget how I describe them. Yeah, so you see Dr. Holzer, who, this particular profile that you see, he's amazingly attractive, almost beautiful, from this profile, and he's seemingly arguing, possibly, with this other gentleman who has some long flowing hair, and he seems to have muscular arms that, from this distance, like you can see his sleeves are rolled up, and he seems to have some kind of strange tattoos on his arms.
Hmm.
And he's wearing a hip belt, since he's only got his waistcoat on and a button-down shirt. You can see at his hip he has a belt of vials and unguents. And yeah, they seem to be arguing.
Was I able to tell what they were doing? That metal sound? Were they fencing? What were they doing?
Yeah, in like their I guess their dominant hand, each of them have a dagger.
Oh.
They might have been sparring. Because then you can start to see, like, through the hedge opening, you start to see, like, in her garden, you see, like, there's a distinctive circle that's been etched out in the grass.
I think as they're fighting or they're training or sparring, I see what they're doing, and I stand up as tall as I can go, and I say, "Excuse me, gentlemen. While it's probably very athletic and a good skill to know how to fight with a knife, but wouldn't you rather wrestle with your own bare hands?"
They stop, seeing you there, and they will stop what they're doing, and as Dr. Holzer will come forward to greet you, I mean, he won't touch you or anything like that, but he will like kind of put one hand on his heart
I think I'm on
and
the
one
other
hand.
side of a hedge, right?
Huh? I'm sorry.
I like this idea that I'm on another side of like a hedge that's low. Yeah.
Yeah. But he'll still, like, come. He'll still hear you, right? But he'll come over with one hand over his heart, the other hand behind his back, and he will bow. And do I hear the dulcet tones of Lady Ross Carter?
The one and only.
And then as he's saying that and he's advancing forward, it seems like his companion has gone behind him to grab towels and also, like, put his sleeves down over his
Oh,
tattoos.
no, don't roll the sleeves down, please.
And then Maglasang, who it is, like, that's his name, but you may not know that.
Okay.
Will just kind of look over and still continue to roll them down.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I say, is Rose in this morning? Or is she still asleep? She always was one to waste the day.
And I think Dr. Holzer will straighten up from his bow, and he will... Would it be too unseemly, madam, if we could see you before speaking?
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't.
Like he's asking if it would be too unseemly to see you before talking.
Oh, I thought we were like the hedge was like waist high.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure whether you were peeking, like,
Oh no, I think they
edge.
could totally see me. Like,
Okay.
I imagine I'm at least like chest to waist high. So
Got it. Okay.
that's where they're like the physical barrier of that.
Right. Okay. So anyway, Yeah, he's basically like saying, I am Mrs. Pemberton Potts's physician.
Hmm.
She is
Is she sick?
not in the usual sense.
In the unusual sense, I see.
Hmm, she wants to make sure she is capable still at her age.
Capable of what? What else does she have to do in this lifetime?
She would like to retire and be mobile.
Hmm.
She wants to live life to the fullest.
Oh, you should write that on a card. That would be very nice. Anyway, is she around?
Ah, yes, she is probably inside, creating, well, different tisanes, different blends of her tea.
And I look around for a moment and I say, I seem to be a little lost in this maze you have here. What is the best way to get inside?
Ah, yes. If you will wait just a moment, Maglusang can escort you here to the door.
Even better.
And Maglusang doesn't say anything, and he's a tall, kind of wiry young man, like somewhat in his 30s, and again, long dark hair, and like of a Asian cast, and
Hmm.
he's rolled down his sleeves, wearing a waistcoat, like I said, and he's got his hip belt, um, and he's got his trousers and boots on and everything, and he's kind of like wiping down his face and his neck with the towel, and then he will offer his arm to you, Lady
I will take
Moscarda.
it.
Yep.
Say thank you, sir.
And then he will look at you, and you're tall too, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
fairly tall for, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he's gonna look you in the eye, and just basically like, ah, please accompany me, and I shall bring you to Mrs. Pemberton Potts.
Lead the way.
Yeah. And then you go inside, and you immediately get this that you smell. Well, actually, even as you are like led inside with him, you smell like a scent from his hair. Again, that's flowing down his back. It smells like of spices. And when you go into the house, it's like there's a different smell of spices, like tea spices and everything like that, tea herbs. So I think we're going to cut back over real quick to the Saint Cecilia's Cathedral, because I just want to do a paint the scene on that real quick. Before we take our first break, and I apologize for waiting so long. I'm so sorry. So you're over at the cathedral, and where'd it go? There we go. Stained glass windows, high shadowed balconies, and then from the outside looking in, you can see there's hallways filled with nooks and crannies, right? And the paint the scene is this. Despite its ornate religious regalia, what tells you that this is a church of the people, meant for the common folk? And please feel free to put your answers into the records, so this way you know what you've described a location in London.
I think the pews seem very sturdy and sort of, they're not too fancy to sit on. You don't need to be clean to sit on them.
It's got just it doesn't so much have a cloakroom as it's got, you know, it it doesn't have a cloakroom. It's got like, a rack where you can just like it's got like a rack of hooks where parishioners can like just, hang their coats up.
I think the room is full of worshipers, middle class, lower class people sitting in the pews. Perhaps some of them are sitting there like with their heads bowed, and you could kind of hear them mumbling a prayer. And some of them just walk right out. Some new people walk right in.
Lovely. And this is what you see when you go in. So, I mean, it's not a service busy, right? So there's no service being conducted, but there's enough parishioners here to just know that this is a loved church, so, and well cared for. So with that, let's take our first break. And again, I apologize for delaying so long. We're going to take it to the top of the hour, okay? Okay. So this is what you see as you go into St. Cecilia's Cathedral. And yeah, I think Father O'Donnell is kind of puttering around. He's just kind of greeting people as they kind of come in. If they look like they're just wanting to be left alone to pray, then he will leave them be. But if they actually come to him and greet him, then he will, of course, graciously, receive them and, talk to them and such. He does see you too, though, and he will make his pardons to the people he's talking to approach.
When Rose enters this, when Rose enters the sanctuary, she actually, when Rose enters the sanctuary, she she bows ever so slightly and genuflects before she walks in.
I think on the way over, I politely reminded you not to shoot anything in the church.
Rose returns a somewhat withering gaze and says, "This is one of the few places that I'm not going to pull my gun out unless I got a damn good reason."
How was I to know that?
So true. So, yeah, I mean, he comes over to greet you and says, thank you. Thank you for coming so quickly. Let me bring you over to meet Edgar Timble. And I think he will bring you down one of the hallways.
Do we want to split up here and someone look at the drippy pulpit and someone talk to?
If you want to talk to the witness, I'm going to go. If you want to talk to the witness, I'll go examine the site of the murder, at least the site immediately below where the body was discovered.
Yep. Yeah. You said it dripped down onto the pulpit. Yeah. Sure. But we'll follow Dr. Whitford and Father O'Donnell first, okay? So we're going down one of these windy hallways or whatever, and he brings you into this room that looks like a small library office, and you see this frail young man with tight curly hair, and when he turns to you upon hearing the door open, his eyes look rather hopeful and kind. You don't normally see these kinds of eyes in London. Father, can I help you? Yes. Edgar, this is Dr. Whitford. She is here to investigate Wesley's death, as well as some of the other goings-on in the church. And Edgar will downcast his eyes and say, "Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad to answer any questions you may have. You may use this you may use this office as you wish. Speak with him in private." And Father O'Donnell will take his leave. And Edgar will just kind of awkwardly stand there,
I
unless.
was going to say, if whatever setup this office has, I'll be like, please sit. There must be some way we can both sit in.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's got like a love seat type of thing, and then like another chair like across from it and such. Um, and he will gingerly take a seat like on the love seat, um, and just keep his eyes kind of downcast, but kind of look at you surreptitiously underneath his lashes. How can I help you?
Um, Father O'Donnell came to us to ask us to investigate the death of your friend, Deacon. I can't
Burke.
read my own handwriting. Burke?
Burke.
Your friend, Deacon Burke. And I was wondering if you could tell me in your own words what you discovered. Take as long as you need. I know this is hard.
And he gulps, and he says that he basically describes it as where he had come in to lay out the books and some of the other, not utensils, what am I trying to say? The, you know, the ribbons and the
Stuff.
other stuff, yeah. And he noticed that the pulpit was damp, and when he had his hand come away, he noticed the blood, like he was feeling it, and then he realized that he saw drops coming down still onto the book, and he looked up, and he saw Wesley. And he says he doesn't remember screaming, but yeah, people came running and told him that he did. And they saw it too.
And when was the last time you saw Wesley before that?
You are. You are a doctor, yes?
Yes.
You hear things in confidence, yes?
Yes. You can tell me and be. I will share no more knowledge than I have to solve this murder.
Wesley was my friend. But he was also my lover. We were together the other night before he was killed.
And I am doubly sorry for your loss.
When he brings his eyes up to you again, there is a fire in them. Do you think you can do something about this? Do you think you and your group can find out who did this?
I think there is a good possibility, yes.
Whoever did this needs to pay a severe, fatal price.
Fatal price will be nice. Our solutions tend to be fairly final.
I spent much of my life turning the other cheek, only to be stricken again. I can only find peace in knowing that their portion will be the lake of fire and sulfur.
I want some sort of like nonverbal, I got you, dude. Um,
I mean,
expression.
yeah. I mean, like you can roll an information move and like try to get something out of him.
Sure, why not? Let me. You know what? And with what will I be rolling at this time? Am I still attempting to reason with people?
you're gonna have to exert a little bit of presence. I'll even accept composure if you can argue with me how, um, because he's in a bit of a fervor right now. So you're gonna have to use something to bring you back, buddy, so you can answer my question. So, what do you think?
I think as a lifelong churchy person, he probably has been conditioned to respond well to authority.
Okay,
And so I will put a little bit of that in my voice.
great. Okay, so roll with presence.
Oh, I have 0 presence. I think I was going for composure, but presence is fine. What have we got? 7.
You got a 10.
Oh, did?
You did?
I got a 10. Cool.
Okay,
I was still looking at your roll.
alrighty. So, let's see. Do you ask him anything specific?
No, I think I just kind of want to let him unspool. Like he seems on a. But I can target more if you would like.
I think he's going to tell you that whoever has done this is something cursed, something unholy. I had found Dr. Father O'Donnell had told you that there'd been rumors, stories of statues moving, yes? I'd seen down one of the hallways, completely clear, and I heard something. And when I turned back, there were things scattered on the floor. And when I investigated further, it was a rosary, broken apart and spread with intent. That's the clue. A rosary broken apart and spread with intent. So if you want to put that clue in there. Find who did this. And we're going to cut over to Rose, who's over by the pulpit. You're basically like rooting around Rose, I guess. I mean, like
I
you
was
can.
gonna say so Rose rocks fairly slowly and remarkably reverently through like down the main corridor of the church,
Okay.
through the nave. And as she approaches the chancel again, she like bows ever so slightly, genuflects again, and then steps up onto the chancel and is like kind of like looking around near the altar. And I think a few of the I think probably a few of the parishioners that are like, you know, praying in the pews or whatnot, like look at her oddly because she's dressed the way she normally does, like, with her, she's like, she's still wearing her hat because,
Yeah.
men take their hats off in a church. Women
Hmm.
generally don't. So she's still wearing her hat,
I think
and
Father
her poncho and
O'Donnell's. Yeah, I think Father O'Donnell, though's in the, like, amongst the pews, and he's kind of reassuring some of them, like he's just kind of like looking back at you, but then reassuring some of them, just like, she's She's
And so like she looks around and sees a couple of drops on the floor and like looks up to where the body was found,
mhm.
which yeah, okay, yeah, that's like 35 feet up, and I take it there's no I take it it's just like you know I take it it's just like open ceiling. There's no like corridors and like
Yeah,
the
there's no,
walls.
yeah,
Okay.
no halls up
Yeah,
there.
there's
It's
no
just like,
ladders or anything. It's just and
right.
then there's the rafters up there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I, the player, have been in many a church like that. Okay.
Hmm.
Is it okay if I like Mads out of character? Can I establish that there may be a couple of like respectable potted plants that are like by the front that were kind of there as like decoration
Sure.
or okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I want to use a move I haven't used before.
Uh-huh.
Um,
What's this?
and so she looks up and she then glances over and notices that there are a couple of potted tropical plants that are not not uncommon house plants. They're you know maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, and she looks at one quizzically and walks over to it and just kind of like reaches out and touches it and you know contemplates it and closes her eyes and kind of concentrates this. And I'm interested in and again, she looks up at the, and she looks up at the, at the walls of the chapel and sees like sees some of the mosaics, sees the stations of the cross that are, that are, guessing they're probably carved in bas relief, along the sides of the nave of the church. She looks up at the stained glass, that has, various floral patterns, floral and, um, like vine patterns on them, and looks at the plant and wonders. And she touches the plant and she closes her eyes and tries to reach out with her, like touching into a little bit of her own feral nature, touches out to the plant to see if the plant knows anything. And I would like to use the forest sense.
Perfect. All right. So you're going to roll with
Let me
sensitivity for
Yeah,
this.
let me
Yep.
read let me read the move. Let me read the move for the benefit of anybody who might be watching at home. The forest sense. This custom move allows the hunter to see intent behind natural symbols presented, the natural language of flowers, the emotion behind a particular environment. Whenever you touch, listen to, or experience something of nature, roll with sensitivity. On a hit, you may ask a single question regarding what you touched, listened to, or experienced, and the keeper will answer with as much or as little detail as they wish. So I am going to roll with sensitivity. My sensitivity is that. And just take a quick look at my personal quarters items. I don't think anything really is going to come up here, so I'm just going to roll. And that is a 7. So, reading further. On a hit, you may ask a single question regarding what you touch, listen to, or experience, and the keeper will answer with as much or little detail as they wish, providing it in the form of a clue if they so choose. On a 7 to 9, also gain the condition forest for the trees. So I will take that as the condition. Um, but I'm guessing this plant was here when the victim, again, what was his name? What was his name again? I'm guessing this plant was here when the victim, Wesley Burke, was killed, and she's going to try to see if she can get an impression of what the plant might have experienced when that happened. So, like, what happened? Like, what was, like, what happened in the immediate area of this plant um, when the victim was attacked and killed? Is my question.
Okay. All righty. You get several flashes of something, as the plant is communicating with you, but I mean it's only in flashes of impression, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have eyes, but I mean like it's still, as you say, like, like what did it see when this whole thing happened? And I think what you get a glimpse of in its weird way, but it's like kind of hazy, but you can tell what it is. It seems to be some kind of book that's being held in hands, like, like where the book is open and the hands are like kind of like cradling it, right? As if somebody's reading from it. And you can tell from the cover, even in your blurred vision, that this is a tome of blasphemous rituals. What does the cover look like to give you that impression?
It is it's bound in leather, and Rose can just tell that leather is human skin, and it's got um the title is in Latin. She can't quite read it, but she can see that it's got some kind of esoteric symbol on the cover with, you know, kind of a blurry phrase that's in Latin. She can tell it's in Latin letters, but she can't quite read it. But that book was bound. This is a book that's literally bound in human skin and is embossed with an arcane sigil on the cover.
Yeah. It's like you're getting flashes of this as if like, somebody's carrying it, somebody's opening it, somebody's, but you can't hear anything like because of the plant, whatever. But I mean like you can sort of get the impression that somebody's like reading from it or clutching it or something. So the clue itself is a tome of blasphemous rituals. And that's what you get. Um, what do you think of that? I mean, I know you already got like a condition, but I'm just curious to know what like Larrabee thinks when she sees that after touching that plant.
Um, she's she's angry and appalled that someone would bring such a tome like that into a church.
I think as we pan away from you, I think the lighting has changed. Like it kind of gives like this cast to your eye where it's like we can see like the resolve and the anger, like, like reflected in your eyes as we
And can I add a little detail?
mm,
As the camera like zooms in on her eyes, they don't change color, but her her pupils constrict, and her pupils are ovals, like that of a cat.
nice. And then we fade out and fade into Mrs. Pemberton Potts' house. So, I think as Maglasang is leading you in,
Mhm.
you get these smells and you are entering into like this back hallway. Already it's kind of plush, somewhat dark, but it's to be expected, I mean, like only sconced lighting and all this kind of stuff, but I mean, like dark mahogany wood and plush carpeting and such. And he will lead you to the. Trying to think. What would you do? Probably the sitting room,
Mhm.
right? So he would lead you to Mrs. Pemberton Potts's sitting room, and I would like to know, paint the scene for Lady Ross Carter alone. Lady Pemberton, oh, keep on doing that. Mrs. Pemberton Potts is always trying to make her home a welcome place for anyone that comes in, no matter what class, no matter what tier of person they are. What makes you, Lady Ross Carter, feel welcome in spite of yourself?
think there's a painting on the wall, a portrait of Sir Thomas when he was young, when I knew him when he was young, before he married this lady.
That's the thing. He didn't.
Oh, I read the clue incorrectly. Or maybe I thought they were married. Anyway. So I see this painting and I'm like, oh, Tommy. Such bad choices you've made in life.
And I think when you say that,
And I definitely say it out loud.
yeah, I think you hear like a tight voice behind you saying, it's like, perhaps the only poor decisions that he made were the choice in friends.
I turn around really quickly and look right at her.
She's pushing in a cart of little cakes and some tea, breakfast tea. To what do I owe this pleasure?
I was walking down the street and I heard some noises in your garden and I felt I would snoop around. And then I figured I might as well come in and say hello since I was already at your back door. How are you today? Get into any good trouble lately?
Always, always. It's wonderful to see you. I had sent the invitation for tea. I was hoping to see not just you, but your colleagues, your...
This is not the answer to that invitation.
It
Trust
is
me,
not.
the rest of Hargrave House would love to come have tea with you. As I was saying, I was merely in the neighborhood.
And I am always prepared, so... If you would like to have a tiny bit of repast before you go back for your breakfast, I'd love the pleasure of your company.
So I think I'll go and I'll sit down in the couch that's right in front of the cart that was just brought in, pour myself some tea, and I will ask her if she would like to join me, and I will pour her a glass.
And she will graciously, move to sit next to you, in a separate chair, of course, and, welcome you, pouring out the tea as she, arranges her light, fluffy dress, like, around her. Again, she's tinier than you, and she's gracefully accepting the cup, and she sees where your gaze had gone, and she says, very good likeness of him, don't you think?
I think where I've sat down is now the painting is now behind me, so I have to actually turn around and break gaze with her to look back at the painting. And I say, it's definitely got his spirit. It's been so long since this painting was taken, so the details may have faded in my memory more than it has in the painting. So I will take your word for it. Do you know who painted it?
I don't. I had my agents look into it and make sure that I acquired it before it was lost in the family vaults.
I think I make some joke about I'm sure his mother would have preferred that. It's something that we both can laugh at, a joke at his mother's expense, because we've probably both had to deal with her at some point.
Yes, that battle axe. He was wonderful.
So, when was the last time you saw him?
Oh, You didn't know?
No.
5 years ago, he had gone away. He had been sent on an expedition. We were to be married. Finally.
Better late than never.
Exactly. That's what I said. Especially after Mr. Potts had passed. And, he was sent. And he was due to return before the wedding. And, well, the expedition members had returned, but not him.
Why, what was the cause of his delay?
They said he was lost. Particularly, rough terrain and a cliff something.
Oh, do you believe them? Do you have any reason to suspect foul play?
She sits there silent and drinks her tea, but she looks at you. She looks at you across from her cup as she sips, and then she puts it deliberately down in her saucer and says, "What do you think, Mundy?"
I think when people go off on expeditions, sometimes the benefactor, the patron of these expeditions, don't always have the most honorable desires and aims. Thomas was quite a stirrer. Used to get into things, did he not?
He did. No more than the rest of us.
Piss off the one wrong person. No implications by me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dear. I should not bring this up in such crude fashion.
He was as devoted to our queen as we are.
And other people's devotion can sometimes be at odds with another person's devotion. Even though the goals are the same, the methods might counter. And I take a sip of my tea.
She smiles a little at that.
So have you seen any good shows lately?
Oh. Not yet, but I have heard of some very strange things about a certain play that's going on in London currently.
I do not know anything of what you are speaking. Please say more.
Oh, it's quite... Oh, goodness. So dark. I feel as if it's something that's quite lost in telling. Perhaps something that needs the light of day to bring it out of the shadows.
You just have to be there, right?
Yes, perhaps. On sight is always better than trying to view it from afar.
And I take a moment, I look back at the painting, and I say, I agree. Where is this play?
That is a very good question. I believe it was in a chapel. It's almost a puzzle to find out where it goes next. It seems to move around from a few nights
Could I use my roll of 7 that I did earlier to
Mm-hmm.
use as my information move?
Certainly.
I don't think I should roll again since I already rolled once.
Yeah, that's fine. Happy to provide something. Oh, let me make sure that I don't repeat a clue. Oh boy. Let's see.
Because I figure Pemberton Potts would have her eyes on many things.
Yes. Meddling as she does, yes.
Yes.
Oh, and don't forget to add to that TBD, Rose. I think instead of answering you directly, she says, "Oh, did you hear about that strange finding that they had when they broke down that ridiculous cobblestone wall on the north side of the city?"
On the north side, no.
Yes, they found human remains inside the wall.
I mean that seems to be par for the course around here these days.
No, but the way they were found, they weren't stacked behind the wall or in between the cobblestones. They were in the cobblestones.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
how did they do that?
I don't know. And that's your clue.
Cool.
Human remains in an unusual place.
Got it.
Just a little factoid that she just throws out there, like,
Just
did you
had
know?
it, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know? Please have some cake. Like she's just giving you like food now after like talking about something gross. So
I've heard worse.
this seed cake is excellent. The baker.
My compliments to the chef.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my ward, Madelancholy, is quite talented.
I noticed. I think we could wrap that scene at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so given that, we can close out of day phase since got plenty of clues. All right. And then you guys can decide to do something for dusk phase if you want to answer a question. We can do the beginning of dusk phase and then move into stars and wishes. All right. Or we can see how far we get into dusk phase and go from there. So, King in Shadows. Again, you have the threshold question, which is only requiring 2 complexity. What signs precede a performance of the play, and where will it appear next? You discover the location of the new venue, and the hunters may watch a performance during any following night phase while this threat is active. Afterwards, unlock the next question.
I have an idea of where it could be.
Okay, okay.
How we actually get there, we can discuss. But I think it would be a lot of fun if the next time we could witness the King in Shadows, if it's back at Lady Blackbird's.
Oh, wow. And they did renovate recently, so.
That's what I heard.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, got it.
Because you have that nice.
With a whole new benefactor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm just going to hop in for the King in Shadows. I did have a clue to be determined, and I just determined it. It is a playbill, apparently for production of Macbeth. That's what the cover says. But the interior only shows it has 3 acts, and the roles are not for Macbeth.
Nice. Okay, I like it. All right, King in Shadows play. Blackbirds in. Little Blackbirds, yep. Okay, so Little Blackbirds. So which clues are you using to prove this?
Again, if we've got 8 clues, so if we only use 5, that means we'd still be rolling at +3.
I think we need to use 5. We could probably do 4 and get +2.
To you, what do you think proves this You know,
Um,
that is that little
Something about
blackbirds.
Lysistrata.
yeah.
Okay,
Um,
check that off.
let's say
There's
maybe
no
there's
beef.
a
Oh,
I don't know, maybe there's a someone at Little Blackbirds who's known as the leopard or something.
perhaps that north wall was over by uh, little blackbirds.
Hmm.
And we have been talking about renovation, and how else would you excavate something like that than knock down a wall or two?
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so
And perhaps even the shadowy sigil outlined in on the brick. Uh, Maybe there's a sign for little blackbirds that has, a little black bird that appears shadowy, and then during the daytime it just looks like a bird, but at night when the moon hits it, it kind of looks more shadowy and creepy.
what else do you want to use?
Hmm.
I mean, could even throw in my 2 cents on this. That playbill for Macbeth
I'd say that was, yeah.
that could have like on it could have pictures of a lot of blackbirds on the cover. So
Oh, I like that.
Or the set of that was the gazebo out back.
there you go. Yeah.
I
So
love it.
basically, you recognize a lot of like details that
Yeah.
could point to that kind of thing. So yeah.
Got it. Yeah, and the yeah, and the like not the lithograph, but at least the line drawing on the cover. I
Yes,
love it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love it.
Because you're just like recognizing these things. Like, wait, that looks like whatever. All right. So you got 3 clues. You want to use one more?
One more would be good, because then we'll get +2, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Do we use the human remains?
We
Like
haven't.
as they were doing some renovating?
Do we recognize anything in the box of theatrical costumes as something we've seen at Blackbirds?
We could.
Or was there a or like, hanging in little blackbirds, was there like, just a, you know, like, a live laugh love sign, but it said, life imitates art.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh gosh. That's a yeah, sure if you
I
want.
like it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, mark that one off. And then you've got ouch, your 4 clues. So somebody needs to roll, or 2 people need to roll 1 die each. I don't care.
Clint, why don't you roll if that's okay with you? You were the one who
Sure.
came up with the idea.
Okay, so 2d6 plus 2,
86
correct?
plus 2.
Here we go. Um, oh, 9.
Okay. All right. So you are right. All right. So taking that. Okay.
Back to Lady Blackbird, y'all.
All right. So back to Lady Blackbirds. And let's see, double checking that thing again. Okay, so new venue, name it. Okay. Detail after answering the first question. Create 3 descriptive features showcasing the off putting nature of the location. So, something about the renovations is off putting to accommodate this shadowy play. What descriptive features? So, one each.
They painted all the walls a really dark gray, like almost black.
I'm sorry, the question is at the
3, okay, so descriptive feature showcasing the off putting nature of the location.
Which is the renovations at some part of Little Blackbirds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What have they done to it to create it to accommodate the play and its off putting?
They set up the stage in what had, because Little Blackbirds didn't really have performance space per se, so they made a makeshift stage on what had been like the little area for like a small band to play. So the stage they built is the stage they built is makeshift and it doesn't look terribly stable.
I think that there is new wallpaper and it is kind of squiggled that's sort of hard to look at. Like when it's daylight, it's fine. When it's lit by candlelight, it's kind of writhing looking.
Writhing in candlelight?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's pretty off-putting, I would say. Um,
During the day, it looks fine.
okay. I do have a paint the scene, but I want to wait until you actually get there before I ask the question, okay? All right, so you've got the new venue, so you guys have to watch the play first, I believe, before I give you the next question. Let's take a look at that. Hunters may watch a performance during any following night phase while this thread is active. Afterwards, unlock the next question. Okay, so yeah, you got to go watch it. So yeah, like I'm asking you now, what are you planning on doing? Somebody's got to watch it. It doesn't have to be
Yep.
everybody, but somebody's got to watch it.
Oh, I'll probably do. I mean, we're still in the dusk phase, right?
Yeah, we're discussing like what to do. So you answered
Got
the
it.
question. Now we have to discuss. Oh, hold on. Let me
No, I
follow the directions. Hold
was gonna
on.
say we're not in night yet.
No. But I have to do this stuff in order, and I always goof this up because we're not following the same directions in the keeper. Am I having
It
trouble
says the
finding?
players may attempt to answer a question if
Mm-hmm.
they have collected enough clues and
Yep.
wish to do so.
Yeah.
Then resolve any playbook moves
Thank
or
you.
special moves that are resolved during the dusk phase.
Oh, quickening.
Yeah, we got a quickening.
All right. So you know
So
the drill.
I didn't get to use Harlot's Curse. I didn't get to use Rules of Harlot's Curse in the previous night phase, so I don't get benefits of that. So let me take a look here. So I think as night is starting to fall and the moon is starting to rise, we see Rose in her room at Hargrave House, and she's looking for something to sort of like focus on, and that like paid the and she's looking at a dried flower that she has that she got from that she retained from little blackbirds, and she's just kind of like trying to focus on this pressed flower to try to like steel herself and like put her focus on this so that she doesn't like lose control. I'm gonna mark a personal quarter item, and I'm gonna roll with sensitivity with advantage, unless you're telling me that I've got unless a condition is imposing disadvantage on this. I do have wary of shadows and forest for the trees.
I mean, you're gonna be at disadvantage because of one or both of those conditions anyway. So yeah.
Okay,
So
so I'm gonna
basically,
mark it.
you've canceled those out.
So marking that, I'm canceling that. Okay, so I am gonna roll with
Sensitivity.
sensitivity. I'm gonna hope for the best. That's a 10.
Nice. Okay. All right.
6 and 2. I rolled an 8 on the dice. Plus 2 is a 10.
Okay. So, on your hit.
Let me see. So, on a 10 plus, your body is stronger and faster, and you manage to keep the quickening in check. You roll with advantage when taking actions that use vitality until the next dawn phase.
You may want to rethink this. Only because it's like if you've got the vitality that you could be taking advantage of, do you really want to be the one sitting there and watching the play? So
True.
I will happily say something like, you seem a little restless tonight. Lady Ross Carter, would you care to take a play?
I'm already dressed and ready to go.
You are, of course, welcome to join us, Miss
I think
Larrabee.
Rose says, I don't think I'm in a mood for a play tonight. I think I want to see what might be crawling around that church at night.
nice. I will say, by the church, and you can make a note for this for later. Like if I think there's locations underneath it. That by the church is an alley. There's also catacombs and rooftops. So you'll have plenty to explore besides the church if you want to come nighttime. All right.
Clint,
So
would you like to, like, if Lady Ross Carter would like to go to the play solo or does not wish to go to the play, that's also cool.
Oh,
It seems like a,
I'm very much going to the play. If you
okay,
would like to go, excellent. We could
I
go
would like to
together.
go.
Oh, then we're going. It'll be a ladies' night.
Whitmore and Ross Carter are heading over to the play. Excellent. Okay. Sorry, we're missing Jack for real life reasons, but hopefully we'll get him back soon. But anyway, while this is going on, you guys are going to continue onward with your stuff. So, with this active night phase, I'm assuming this is going to be London, so I got to pick out a unseen. Fantastic. Let's see. What sounds good?
We can do that next week, can we
Yeah.
not?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
fading, so.
Yeah, no problem. Alrighty,
Fair
so
enough.
real quick, I mean, like if you want to just like mention one star, you don't have to like mention a whole ton of them. But if you like have a star and a wish for next time, then go ahead and say so.
Stars, like just little old ladies sniping at each other and how many layers of conversation were underneath it. Also, there was a brief moment where I'm like, is the thing making Lady Ross Carter feel at home having something to be condescending towards? Like, it's not that you recognize the portrait, but that you have an opportunity to be bitchy, which is the thing that makes you feel at home.
Oh my god.
Uh, Mike, I'm super curious about Rose religion now, and I think that's an interesting little thing you dropped. Um, and I really liked the Elinor deacon conversation and the fiery eyes and the thinking that there's some sort of doctor patient confidentiality. And Clint the mask, how menacing Lady Ross Carter is continues to be pretty terrifying, I guess. Yeah, that's it. I don't have any strong wishes. I'm excited about the play.
Oh, and just as a reminder for everybody before you continue onward with Stars and Wishes, if you have done anything in your doodad, your Dawn questions, you know, mark it off in the Dawn questions. Do not mark your advancement track yet, but obviously just make sure that you mark it off your elective Dawn questions or whatever if you fulfilled it, so you don't forget, right?
Yeah,
If you've
I usually throw a note in the cell.
yeah, okay. So just so you don't forget. All right. Anybody else for a star and a
I'll
wish?
go. Mike, the plant move, pretty cool. Is that a custom one you did? Cool. Uh, Kim, I also noted the conversation with the deacon and your, was it a full mask or the thing about the blood that was a prompt you got from
That was a
collecting?
body part for the
Yeah, yeah,
child.
yeah. That was I enjoyed that a lot. And Mads, the back garden is such a great set piece. I like once we left, I was like, I kind of wish I'd hung out there for a little bit longer. But we could probably. So my wish
You
is
can
so.
always go back.
But we're right. That's what I'm saying. The star is that's a really cool place, and the wish is to end up going back there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, I have some stars which basically echo things that have already been said. Um, Kim, I loved the Kim and Mads. I loved the Queen, Dr. Whitford, and the deacon. I thought that was just really cool. And Clint, your interaction with Mrs. Pembleton Potts was just fantastic. Um, just loved how you're just like passively aggressively throwing shade. I loved it. I don't really have any specific wishes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, all the fun stars have been said, and I definitely enjoyed our little old lady snipe session, Clint. So that was fun, and yeah, Dr. Whitford having like a more human moment with the deacon that has some, some not personal vengeance in mind, and he wants his friend and lover avenged. There we go. And for yeah, I think that's such a great facet to Rose with, like, the respect that she's giving to the cathedral and the people there. I love it. I mean, like, I just think that's fantastic. I mean, like, and the assumption of the doctor that she's going to shoot him up anywhere but not here. And it's like, how would she know that? I love that. That was such a
Spur
great
of the
exchange.
It was a spur that was a spur of the moment decision on my like, wait a minute, Rose is Catholic.
Okay. It's great. No, it was a good choice. It was very, very good character choice, and you did that wonderfully.
I
So
mean, she's from Boston, so it makes sense that she's Catholic. But anyway,
gotcha.
What
All right. Well, she probably
Protestant
she
here?
probably been in a ton of cathedrals, right? So well, there you go. So anywho,
I don't know if you saw my wish in the chat, but I also kind of used 4 cents on Miss Pemberton Potts' wreath.
when you go for
So
tea, you can do whatever the hell you want. So let's see.
just in case there's not already baked in floral language there.
There you go. So just remind me of the wish, and then, like, then just go
Yeah.
ahead and do it. Awesome. So I don't have anything in particular for next time, but yeah, we'll just continue onward with this wonderful investigation. We'll see what happens at nighttime, because anything can happen. All right. You guys have a wonderful
So,
week. I will see you next
see
time.
you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.